Hey guys, welcome back to my CCNA 200-301 course. Patrice is here, and in this video we are going to review iOS basics. Are you ready? Let's get started. Computer-based hardware is useless without an operating system. Operating system, or OS in short form, is a software that manages hardware and provides an interface for a user to interact and use the computing power for running different applications. This OS should be installed on a non-volatile disk that can preserve its contents without power, like hard disks, SD cards, and etc. Cisco hardware is not an exception. Without an OS, they'll be useless. Cisco calls its operating systems as Network Operating System, or NOS, and has multiple of them. This includes iOS, or Inter-Network Operating System, which is used on ISR or Integrated Service Routers. iOS XR, which is used on NCS and ASR 9000 series. iOS XE, which is used on Catalyst and ASR 1000 series. And finally, NXOS, which is used on Nexus and MDS switches. The examples are just some of the platforms that use the software. The list is also subjected to change over time, so it might have been changed when you watch this video. So for the updated list of the platforms and NOS, always check Cisco's website at www.cisco.com. CCNA course is based on the iOS commands. There are lots of similarities between iOS commands and the other flavors. Now the question is how we can interact with iOS. iOS is a command-based NOS, and to run the commands you need to access the CLI or command line interface. Although there are some graphical tools that we can use to manage Cisco devices as well, they are outside of CCNA scope. The two main methods we use to access the CLI are the console port and using Telnet or SSH. Accessing CLI through the console port requires physical access to the device and a special cable. However, with Telnet and SSH, you can manage your device from everywhere. The only thing you need is having IP connectivity to the device. This is a sample Cisco device with two console port options. You can choose between an old RS-232 or a USB connection. Obviously, for each of them, you need the right cable. If your computer is not equipped with an RS-232 port, which could have a high probability as this port has been deprecated on many PCs for ages, you may need an RS-232 to USB converter as well. Having the right console cable connected, it's time to run a software which is normally called Terminal Emulator and connects us to the CLI. This could be a professional paid one like SecureCRT or a simple free one like PuTTY. In any software, when you set up your console connection, you must have the following setup so you can access CLI. You have to select the right serial port, which is computer driven and can be different depends on the cable type you use or if your computer has an RS-232 port or not, and it could be COM1, 3, 6 or whatever. The speed must be 9600 bits per second, data bits 8, stop bits 1, parity none, and there should not be any hardware flow control in place. To memorize it easier, you can use 8 and 1 as the code. iOS has different modes, and within each mode, you can run specific commands. And this is the CLI prompt that tells you which mode you are in at the moment. Normally, when you log in into a Cisco iOS device, you are in user mode, although this behavior is manageable. In user mode, the prompt is like hostname and the greater sign. By default, the hostname is the device type. So for example, a router's hostname is router, a switch hostname is switch, etc. So the user mode on a brand new router would be router and the greater sign. To gain access to a higher level, which is called privileged exec mode, we need to type a command, and that command is called enable. When you type the enable command, the prompt will be changed to the hostname and the pound sign. The other mode that I want to talk about in this video is called global configuration mode. We will talk about the other modes when we need them over the course period. To move from privileged exec mode to global configuration mode, you have to type the configure terminal command. To move backward from global configuration mode or any forwarder mode, you can type the exit command. Exit will move you backward one step. To move from privileged to user mode, you have the other option as well, and that is disable command. Ctrl-Z or Ctrl-Z is a key shortcut that can move you from any forward mode directly to the privileged mode, no matter how many steps you have moved forward. Alright guys, this was our today's video. In the next video, I'll talk about CLI assistance options. I wish you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and see you in next videos.